So just a couple of quick general handling techniques to start off with, and things that you maybe have done slightly differently in the past. Remember, with this, we're talking about a lot of force going through the system. We're talking about 10 to 15 kilograms with a double layer. That's 25 to 35 pounds of force. So we need to get good adhesion and good anchorage, both to be able to resist the motion, but also so that it lasts well, and so that we don't get any reactions on the skin. So the glue, therefore, is very, very strong, stronger than what's on your kinesiology tapes, and we've recently added another 50% glue to the tape, so it's very strong, but you need to get good adhesion at the outset. Obviously, the less you touch the glue, the better. We'll often see people, just tear, which is great, and peel off, but they'll peel off the anchor point like this, and they then have that flapping around, and then they've got to touch it to position it and so on. Okay, it's far better to actually just peel your backing sheet, leave the paper on, and just peel the backing sheet back on itself, holding between your thumb and your forefingers. Then you can actually apply that to the body part without actually having to get your fingers on the glue at all. And we can apply our anchor point there without any tension on it whatsoever. This would obviously have the anchor point still on there. And then we can peel the backing sheet back. It's a bit like holding a syringe. We hold that between the thumb and the forefinger. Okay? Now, another big difference is how we anchor here. We don't tend to anchor with our fingers. We need to make sure, as I said, that there's no tension on here. The anchor point's generally double what you would do with a kinesiology tape. Okay, it's at least about 4 fingers generally, and the larger the amount of length change in the tape, or the more tension that's going to come on the tape, the faster the person's moving. If we're using double layers, power bands instead of single layers, there's going to be more force on the tape. Therefore, we need a larger anchor point. If people have frail skin, again, we need a larger anchor point, both for adhesion, but also obviously to resist or reduce the risk of those blisters occurring from that mechanical shearing on the skin due to that excessive force. Now, often we'll see people anchor on here, and then they will smooth up to smooth it down, and as soon as you do that, because we have tension on the tape when we apply it, as soon as you shift your fingers from here to smooth down, you're going to actually create excessive tension at that anchor point. So the way we do that is actually to use our thumb to anchor. I can keep my pressure back on that anchor point, and I can then turn my fingers around and smooth down without losing the pressure on the anchor point. So I maintain the pressure with my thumb as I smooth down with my fingers. And then I can put this the proximal anchor on without any tension once again. Okay. Now, the other thing that we see a lot of people doing through habit of using other tapes is actually peeling the backing paper off as they go along. Now remember, if we're trying to introduce force into the system, we have to maintain our tension as we go along. So it's far better, in fact, to peel this off to that distal anchor point. I'm going to just shift this where that would normally be. We have that distal anchor point on there, and peel it off all the way along to that distal anchor. Make sure there's no tension on here. Apply our traction or our pressure on the anchor point. Bring into that short position, and then take up the tension along the whole piece of tape. Then I can simply just lay it down. Now obviously I'll be going underneath the clothing here, but I can simply lay it down and then put my other anchor point on at the other end without having to touch the glue. By doing that, by taking the tension up along the whole piece, the real tension starts as the arm drops down. So I get uniform tension along the whole piece of tape. If I'm trying to apply it as I go along, what you'll find is that your tension is not uniform. You'll often create tension points that result in reactions or blisters, or you lose your position as you go along. The arm drops down, particularly things like the feet. People trying to hold in dorsiflexion, you'll often see that they're trying to peel and so on at the same time, that the foot will just gradually drop away and they lose the position. And if we're not in that short position, we don't get our bungee effect or that mechanical effect. So it's far better to take up tension along the whole piece of tape and then apply it down. Now that's not always possible with some longer applications, and we'll show you how to do those in just a second.